A memorandum of understanding parties. It expresses a convergence of will between the parties, indicating an intended common line of action. It is often used either in cases where parties do not imply a legal commitment or in situations where the parties cannot create a legally enforceable agreement. It is a more formal alternative to a gentleman's agreement. Whether a document constitutes a binding contract depends only on the presence or absence of well-defined legal elements in the text proper of the document or services. Many companies and government agencies use MOAs to define a relationship between departments, agencies or closely held companies. In business, an MOU is typically a legally non-binding agreement between two parties that outlines terms and details of a mutual understanding or agreement, noting each party's requirements and responsibilities, but without establishing a formal, legally enforceable contract. In the United Kingdom, the term MOU is commonly used to refer to an agreement between parts of the Crown. The term is often used in the context of devolution. For example, the 1999 Concordat between the Central Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs and the Scottish Environment Directorate. MOAs can also be used between a government agency and a non-commercial, non-governmental organization. In international relations, MOAs fall under the broad category of treaties and should be registered in the United Nations Treaty Collection. In practice and in spite of the United Nations Office of Legal Affairs' insistence that registration be done to avoid secret diplomacy, MOAs are sometimes kept confidential. As a matter of law, the title of MOU does not necessarily mean the document is binding or not binding under international law. To determine whether a particular MOU is meant to be a legally binding document, one needs to examine the party's intent as well as the signatory's position. A careful analysis of the wording will also clarify the exact nature of the document. The International Court of Justice has provided some insight into the determination of the legal status of a document in the landmark case of Qatar v. Bahrain, 1 July 1994. One advantage of MOAs over more formal instruments is that, because obligations under international law may be avoided, they can often be put into effect without requiring legislative approval. Hence, MOAs are often used to modify and adapt existing treaties, in which case these MOAs have factual treaty status. The decision concerning ratification, however, is determined by the parties' internal law and depends to a large degree on the subject agreed upon. MOAs that are kept confidential cannot be enforced before any UN organ, and it may be concluded that no obligations under international law have been created. Although MOAs in the multilateral field are seldom seen, the transnational aviation agreements are actually MOAs. Examples from US law include. Examples from international development contexts include